And now, in studio, coming straight out of the beautiful village of Del Mar to deliver the timely truths on the real estate market. He's a CEO and broker, a seasoned trainer, and an award-winning expert. He's Mark Schwartz, and this is the Mark Schwartz Real Estate Show.
Good evening, it's Mark Schwartz, and you're listening to the Mark Schwartz Real Estate Radio Show, coming to you every Friday night at 7 p.m. Calling out people, telling you like it is, working hard for you, and making your real estate dreams come true. Every time you listen, you'll definitely have a takeaway. Some good information about the buying and selling process and kind of what's been happening and is happening in the local real estate market and how it compares to the United States of America. I'm here with Hershel Strother II. How are you, Hershel?
I am good. It's a wonderful day. Another beautiful day out. The weather is steaming.
Oh yeah, we are definitely begging for rain, but it looks like it's going to cool off a little bit next week. We're on. We got the FedEx Challenge started, the Barclays. We got Phil in contention, and our boy from Rancho Santa Fe, left-handed golfer like myself, and.
How's Phil been doing lately?
I don't know how he's been doing after the whole gambling scandal, but it looks like he's going to get away clean. Ooh. But he's golfing well, and we look forward to seeing success over the next 4 weeks of this FedEx tournament. It's amazing that the real estate market is as strong as it is. Still interest rates are low. They've been threatening to raise rates. Stock market's been really volatile. We had 3 days of some serious downs, and then we had a little bit of a comeback. And so we just have to kind of watch and how it compares to the economy in China, Greece, and all the things that are going on worldwide. And yet the Fed is still trying to encourage people to buy homes, stay in the real estate market, get off the fence, stop renting, own a home, build that wealth that, your family and you deserve. I think at this point they thought that they might have a token raise of a quarter point max, but that they may actually keep interest rates where they need to be for the next, several months, 9 to 12 months before the election, etc. And that would be very good at keeping the buying momentum and frenzy continuing. Although I think we've seen that inventory has increased dramatically over the last few years, haven't we? And the last couple of months we've gone from almost tripled the inventory. It seems like right now, we have about 7,200 homes on the market, and we're selling like 3,100, which is still equates to 2.5 months of inventory. But when you think about the 17,000 real estate agents in San Diego County, man, 3,000 sales, and there are more than one person selling more than one home. There are agents doing multiple deals, which leaves little or none for 80 or 90% of the real estate agents out there. And I think we always talk about how dangerous that is, and how hectic it could become for a home buyer, a home seller getting involved with the wrong individual, an individual that doesn't take this game seriously, that is absolutely in it part-time, trying to make a couple of bucks on a deal here and a deal there. And instead of making it a full-time effort, a full-time job, this is a career. This is a profession. It's the only profession you don't need your master's for, which is sometimes tricky, but doctors, lawyers, realtors are always in the same category. We're held to a high standard, and there's all kinds of fiduciary responsibilities. We have to look out for our buyers and our sellers as well as ourselves. And Hershel, you can attest to the fact that 70% of the transactions, or even 80 that we get involved with, it almost seems like we're better off just like, Deion Sanders used to say, just punt the ball to me and everybody get off the field and let me do what I do best, and I'll score every time. It seems like he's running down trying to get a touchdown after, the punt return or the kickoff return, and always an offensive player will commit a foul, block in the back, illegal use of hands, and call back a touchdown. The guy would have scored so many. It's the same thing. It's almost like if the realtor would just refer us the deal, we would ensure getting the deal done.
Oh, definitely.
They are absolutely getting in the way, committing the fouls, like you say, blocking in the back, pulling them down, hitting them illegally. Those are the things that are stopping us from getting a smooth transaction through. And, we always talk about, having a smooth transaction and everybody communicating correctly and everybody trying to do a win-win situation, which is what it takes to make everybody happy at the end, right? And however, we're constantly fighting with another realtor who's got an ego involved, making decisions for their buyer or their seller, when in fact it's not them that makes the decision and it's not them who has the ultimate say. So, I find it ironic. I think we even just in this last negotiations, we felt like we were negotiating with the agent. She wasn't communicating with the client exactly what our client was trying to say.
Right. It's crazy. Effective communication is so important. I mean, you definitely have to make sure that you're transparent on every stage of the deal.
Well, transparency is good. I mean, obviously you want to communicate and be, honest, work with integrity. We're all enthusiastic about what's up, and so we're definitely in there trying to win it, for our clients and make sure that the process is smooth and that there are no hiccups. But that always entails, having both agents working together for the same goal. And you get these ego-driven individuals that, think it's all about themselves when it's about their client. And they're forgetting that the big picture is, working with that client, getting referrals from that client, making it a client for life. And that entails listening to the individual, communicating, good news or bad, exactly what's happening in the process, not standing up and blocking for them, right?
Yeah, no. Speaking of listening, little funny story. We had breakfast this morning and just simple things on, we went out to, Coco's, Mark, and Mark was specific. Give me some toast, no butter, plain. The guy said, okay, so toast with some butter, and that's exactly what he got.
Well, I mean, even you told him exactly what you wanted. There were 3 different things that he asked about specifically, and then he went back and read back the order, totally incorrect, then brought the order incorrectly. It just, again, people are on a slow roll. They're on their own program. They're not listening, or they're used to a different vibe. I mean, we came in fired up, ready to go, tearing it up, and maybe we were just in the wrong place.
Must be Friday.
That being said, it was amazing how last week Tiger Woods put together 3 really good rounds, although it wasn't a major, Paulie. He did put together 3 really good rounds, and he was up in contention until that last day. It seemed like everybody started to go low but him.
You know what? You need to have 4. Tiger Woods won 4 rounds. Eldrick Woods wins 3 rounds.
Yeah.
He's not Tiger Woods anymore. He's Eldrick Woods.
He's getting the Tiger back, man. Come on now. And anytime that you can go ahead and do that, although the tournament didn't have an influx of superstars, there were certainly guys that were gamers in there. It was just unfortunate when there were just great conditions on that day 4, and he just couldn't stick the ball on the green, couldn't do what he needed to do to make it happen.
And then out of nowhere, Davis Love III comes back and wins it. I haven't heard that guy's name in years.
He's my age, actually. And in fact, it's great to see him. You got Phil this week, in contention in the FedEx. Tiger, we'll get him next year. He's going to be playing around the world for the next couple of months and just getting out and gaming, man. You got to swing that club 1,000 times to get it back. And I think he just wasn't playing enough golf at that point. But on another note, we got football coming and all kinds of things going on with the Chargers. What was the latest on the preseason with the Chargers?
They won again, so they're looking okay in the preseason. The next preseason game, the third one, is the one we really get to get a true picture of what the team's going to look like this season, because that's when the starters are going to play the first half and maybe a series or 2 in the second half. So the next preseason game is going to be really interesting. Yeah,
I must say, with Phillip Rivers getting that long-term contract signed, or the 4-year contract, and getting paid heavily, now knowing that he's going to be in San Diego or wherever the Chargers are for the next 4 years, I think that's definitely going to be a benefit. There's no question in his mind where he's going to play and what he needs to do. I think he can take the pressure off him a little bit and play more effectively. And the guy's definitely a gamer. And certainly when I saw that he was signed for the 4 years, I thought, what? How can we lock in? But then when you look at what his numbers were over the last 2 years, he was like second in completion. He was like second in quarterback rating. He was like third in touchdowns thrown. So he's got the numbers that we need. It's just, was always building the team around him.
Exactly. The offensive line's been in shambles the last couple of years. They got a couple of those issues fixed. They brought in Orlando Franklin to play left guard. King Dunlap, they were able to re-sign him in the offseason. Probably moving DJ Fluker from left tackle to from right tackle to right guard. So the offensive line's going to look a little bit different with Nick Hardwick retiring in the offseason, which is a big loss. But if they can get that settled, they should have a pretty good offense, especially with the wide receiver weapons they brought in.
Yeah, we needed to have a solid running back and maybe a fullback in there to always, run the ball. You can throw the ball as much as you can, but if they know you're outgunning it, they can cover it very easily. If you have the ability to run and have that running threat, then obviously you can control the game and control the line, which makes it much, much easier.
Now, Paulie, did you see that video that the Chargers supposedly sent to the NFL to kind of get them going with the Carson Stadium?
I have not.
Oh my gosh,
I've heard about it.
That video was unbelievable.
Speaking of Carson, man, I think driving up to LA the other day, I drove by Carson, and I must say, it didn't look like the most beautiful town like San Diego. It didn't look like it had all the things that San Diego has to offer. I mean, it just looked like an industrial site.
Well, that patch of grass, that patch of grass where they're planning on doing this stadium, it looks phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't drive out there, but
Well, I mean, here's the thing. There's so many people competing for that LA, ticket. We got the Raiders and the Rams and the Chargers. They were even talking about bringing somebody from like the South or the Southeast over. I can't remember exactly what team it was, but
Jacksonville,
there you go. And so, all these small market teams trying to get into where the money is. And, we're talking about St. Louis, Oakland, Jacksonville, San Diego, 4 small market teams that if they were in LA with all the money that's there and all the things that could happen, I mean, the owners got to think that it's a very good move for them, financially speaking, and bring out the crowds and all the marketing that's available. I agree with that, and obviously in lobbying for it, as a San Diego resident, we don't want to lose our football team. I mean, I was in LA when we lost both the Rams and the Raiders, so I went through that, but hey, as a football fan, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna watch and love football anyway, no matter where it is. And there's 32 teams that are around. Was it 32 teams that are around the league?
That is correct.
And so it's all about liking football, at this particular point. So that's great, and we hope the Chargers stay, but we look forward to a good season. And any time that they do really well in the preseason is generally like a dagger and for what's going to happen in the regular season. But I think we can remain optimistic. We've only seen the third stringers now, and like you said, Paul, next week we'll see the real test. When we come back, we're going to talk to Joe Costa, our guy from Park Place Financial Group, and talk about the interest rates, the loan programs, and what he's got going on and how he can help you, the buyer and the seller, in the real estate transaction.
AM 1170 The Answer and AM 1170theanswer.com.
Are you looking to lower your current interest rate or obtain a loan for a home purchase? If you are, Park Place Financial Group would like to help. At Park Place Financial Group, building a value-based relationship is our #1 priority, and our passion is all about helping our customers find the best possible loan program based on their current and future needs. In doing so, we utilize our years of experience and expertise to help you succeed and build your real estate wealth. Give us a call today at 646-245-7856. Licensed by the California Bureau of Real Estate under license BRE number 01841088.
The Levinson Law Group is dedicated to community safety. We fight back against drunk, texting, and reckless drivers who cause harm on our roadways. We support this community through charitable giving and volunteer work, and we will support you as you heal from your injuries and find closure. What makes the Levinson Law Group different? For years, Gordon Levinson represented the largest insurance companies in North America. How does that benefit you? Because when you hire us, you are giving yourself the clear advantages of experience and insider knowledge. We accept cases on a contingent fee. That means that if there is no recovery in your case, you pay no fee. And in most cases, we even advance the costs. That's the Levinson Law Group. Toll free at 1-866-643-HURT. That's 1-866-643-4878. Call today and put a former insurance company attorney on your side. When it's time to call an attorney, call the Levinson Law Group, because sometimes bad things happen to good people.
Strother II is a seasoned success coach, author of Show Me the Money Today, a luxury real estate advisor, and the CEO of Ultimate Achiever, your ‑1 choice for all your lifestyle management needs. Call 877-979-3226 or 877-YS-WE-CAN for a free consultation and visit our website at ultimateachiever.com. That's ultimateachiever.com.
Did you know that there are over 17,000 real estate people in San Diego with a license to sell real estate? Kind of scary, huh? It makes you wonder what kind of credentials one might have to have in order to represent you on your most important purchase or sale of your life. Let me make it a little easier for you to find the right representative and introduce you to a man that has over 28 years of experience and has built an incredibly strong team with a reputation that Yelp nearly had to create 6 stars. Mark Schwartz is the owner, broker, and CEO of Mark Schwartz Realty, with a beautiful office located right in the heart of Del Mar. Mark's attention to detail, his creativity, and his outside-the-box thinking continue to separate him from the rest. He's a Southern California native, and he's talking to you right now on the Mark Schwartz Real Estate Radio Show. Get connected with the best of the best. Go to markforhomes.com. That's Mark, the number 4, homes.com. Mark Schwartz Realty, when only the best will do.
Call Mark at 858-414-4602.
We can be heroes just for one day.
Good evening. This is Joe Costa, my weekly mortgage segment. Hope everyone had a good week, gentlemen.
Yes.
Lady.
We've interacted on a few loans we're trying to get done, man. You jumped back in on a couple and got you started on a few more, and thank you very much.
Exactly, yeah. So it was a very stressful, challenging week in terms of rates because of what happened with the markets.
Surely, I mean, it was a very optimistic and creative need week to get out there and roll your sleeves and make it happen.
Well, no, I'll explain in terms of the stress, because actually what took place this week is really why a borrower buyer needs to make a decision sooner than later. So what happened was on Monday, the stock market, there was a big sell-off. The Dow collapsed, and it started last Friday. We really didn't touch on it last week, but it started late Friday, and then it continued on Monday. Big sell-off, everyone panicked. A lot of margin calls. People that had stocks they bought on margins, they were being called, so stocks were being taken out of their hands. And what that did was that created an opportunity to get a better interest rate. So on the one hand, you had the stock market collapsing, and the other hand, the bond market's rallying. So on Monday, I had situations where people were sitting on the fence with rates, and I would reach out to them, and literally market conditions for rates were getting better, and then within an hour or two, they were getting worse. So, and then the same thing happened on Tuesday. So the reason I used the word stress was when you're trying to nail down the best rate, that's usually when you would feel stressed out with the situation that happened this past week. Because on the one hand, you're getting a phone call from someone like myself, let's say 11 o'clock in the morning, local time, and the market is at X, and then you're sitting on the fence. I'm not sure if I want to lock in. Maybe they'll go down lower, maybe not. Well, I'm not sure. And then all of a sudden, I want to lock in. Well, here's the thing. The rates worsened since we spoke earlier. So I had a lot of those conversations.
So Monday, actually, with the stock market and all the things that were going on, it seemed like the rates did drop. And then you tried to rally people, and they were like, well, maybe they'll drop again, and then they went back up.
That's why it was stressful. So why was it so much?
Understood. I can imagine how hectic that
And then
gets.
the same thing happened on Tuesday. It was more comedy. And I say comedy because you have to laugh. I mean, even the borrowers I was speaking to would agree that when you're trying to nail down the best deal and you think too much or you don't react at a certain time, that you're not going to get it. It kind of emphasizes what I always talk about. You're not going to get the best deal. You can try, and sometimes you will luck out. But if you're going into a situation thinking you're going to get it, more so than not, you won't. So you have to just be happy with that payment and rate and say, all right, I'm good. This is what I obtained, and I locked in, and the payment works. I can afford it. I'm comfortable with it. Yeah, it would have been nice to take advantage of that little dip, but I didn't. And I had the opportunity. So that's where I stand.
I mean, things are still ridiculously low. It's so ironic to, hear about people tripping over interest rates right now when, they're so ridiculously and historically low that even at a quarter point increase, it's like so minute compared to where it could be and where it may go to. And although you always try and get to the bottom, no one ever gets to the bottom, no one ever gets to the top, man. And when you're in real estate and you're looking to wait till the bottom to buy, it'll always bounce back before you realize you had already hit the bottom. And when you're looking for the top, you'll realize it's always come back down before you realize you missed the top. So it's all about knowing exactly what you're looking to accomplish and being comfortable with your position, being decisive in your movings, and or how you move forward, and making those decisions and sticking to your guns.
Well, yeah, and the silver lining to all this is the fact that now the Feds have strongly indicated, again, it's unofficial, that the possible rate hike in September is less likely to happen. Again, that could change, and I have to put that disclaimer in because I don't want 3 weeks from now people to say, hey, I thought back in end of August you said X. Well, at that time, that's where we were. So according to this past week and last week, and towards the end of this week, that was the sentiment of what we were hearing in regards to the rates going up. The mid-September meeting from the Feds. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, and this is one of several reasons what just recently occurred in the stock market. And it's stressful times for people, across the board, making decisions not to buy or when to buy. Should I buy? Should I lock in? Should I sell a stock? Should I not sell a stock? We're in a very, as I like to say, a hurricane situation, and it's important for people to realize that if you weather the storm and you stay focused, nothing should change. If your mentality was to buy a house and this past week your 401k went from X down to Y, it's okay. It's going to bounce back. Still go forward if that house makes sense, right? Because you get those types of people too that get very spooked.
Right. I mean, everything's long-term. It's a long-term investment. If you're putting money in your 401k or IRA, it's for a long-term investment. If you're buying a home, and unless you're trying to buy and flip it, or you have a certain time frame in mind, it's a long-term investment. I mean, property values go up and down. When everybody says, oh my God, I've lost so much money, it's like, did you sell? Well, no. Well, then you haven't lost. So, you've penciled out where your equity position is or where your wealth is. If you're going to follow that daily or hourly, you're going to go up and down forever. So,
well, I had a situation where a client was getting ready to close this week. It was a purchase, and I had to get an updated statement from them, a 401k statement, and the statement was down significantly. And when he sent me the statement, he called me and he said, I'm devastated. I cannot believe I'm down like 20% on my balance. It's killing me right now. I'm going forward with the purchase, but I'm really upset. And that's exactly what you just touched on. It's like, it's business as usual. That is something that will average out over time. And what I brought to his attention was, hey, how much did you actually put into this? And getting into the psychological aspects of his thoughts, not so much being an investment advisor. And he said, I put in X. And I said, okay, well, you're still way up, right? So at one point, you put in X, it was at Y. Now it's down. But the reality is you're still up, and it's going to bounce back. You're not selling anything. You're going to dollar cost average. So don't let that affect your attitude in going forward this amazing purchase that you're about to close on.
You brought up a big point. Analyze is to paralyze, as they say. If you're going to overanalyze the situation, man, you're going to freeze yourself from doing anything and everything. And you got to make sure that you're open to and you're continuing to plow forward. If you're using a 401k or you're investing in IRA, those are long-term investments. Those are not tools to, make quick money. And so it's a long-term over the course of time. And if you're analyzing that, you're going to stop yourself from getting ahead in other areas. And I think in being diverse, diversifying all your investments and being in different areas, all those things together will help in the future.
It's coming from the place of, a psychological position, right? Just like you mentioned, Mark, that money is long-term. Technically, you're not using your 401k right now to live. If you're buying a home, you're using that to live. So taking that phrase, but you don't need that equity, because obviously that equity is put into the house, which over time will appreciate, hopefully, right? But you have to come from the place of, this is the route I'm going. My plan is to own a house. My plan is to put in money in a 401k. If that's what you so choose to do, you have the opportunity to do it, and then let it just move its way through the system, and as over time, indexes have shown that you're going to make, as long as you're putting in, and you're going to make money on a house as long as it's a house bought in a good area at a fair price, fair market price.
Yeah, again, we all have parents that bought homes in the 60s and the 70s.
22,000.
There you go. 39,000, 19,000, 43 grand, including building a swimming pool. Look at where the houses are now. And so it's gone up and down, but it always goes up. And long term, it goes up 8 to 10% a year if you look over everything, regardless. So again, getting into a house, it's important to have your budget in place. Get pre-approved with Joe Costa at Park Place Financial Group. That's Joe at parkplacefg.frankgary.com. Email him, joe@parkplacefg.com. Get that free qual where you come in for nothing. He's going to go ahead and he's going to approve you. You're going to find out what you can afford to spend, where your comfort level is. Because when you lock in long term and you know what you're looking at payment-wise, the rest is going to take care of itself. You're buying down that loan significantly over time. The home's going to appreciate, but I think even if the home didn't appreciate, you're going to end up with no loan at the end of that term, and you're going to have a huge chunk of equity. Now, fortunately, we have appreciation. Cost of living goes up. Home prices go up just as salaries in the economy. And with that, we go ahead and have and can experience and enjoy, creating that leverage and the things that we need to go ahead and help our choices in life and our families.
All right, and that's why what I like to present myself to potential borrowers, buyers, or owners that are refinancing is kind of an advisor, the mortgage side. I like to tell it like it is. I like to tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And sometimes that's not the best thing for a borrower to hear, but at least they know from an honest perspective where they stand. And trust me, more so than not, I get acknowledged for that. And I also, if the deal does go through, we'll get referred clients from
when the deal goes through. And like you said, man, honesty is the best policy always. It's good news or bad, you got to tell it like it is. I had two situations with listings of my own that just took place over the last 24 hours where everyone's asking why and what happened. And, I had to tell them the way it was. I had to look at the facts, man. I had to show them what was going on and just explain the situation, the demographics that were involved in where their homes were, and tell them about things that they didn't have that compared to some of the things that other homes did. And that's why we had to realign our prices and come down. But do you think I was loving those conversations?
Very hard conversations. It's a lot easier not to tell the truth most of the time than it is to tell the truth.
But, listings don't have a shelf life, right? We don't get paid for not selling homes. And so I think it's all about communication, Joe, right?
Absolutely. And that's why I bring that point up, because it's something that a lot of borrowers I see today, they've gotten very educated, but they also feel like everyone's trying to sell them. And because they feel that way, they put this guard up. So when you come from a place of explaining honesty, it's kind of like, wait a minute, this is awkward. I'm used to the guy trying to sell me and tell me what I want to hear. But you know what, Joe, I'm still going to, and sometimes this happens, I'm still going to trust that guy because he's actually saying what I want to hear. And then, from there we, in the end,
if they can't,
reconvene and we deal with it accordingly. But
absolutely. If they can't take it, I don't mean take it, but if they're not open to listening to facts, if they've already hired you as a professional in the business based on your experience and knowledge of the market conditions as they are, then they need to, trust and give you the keys to the car, as they say, and let you drive it. I mean, we're advising and bringing forth, all the information. And look, I didn't have success on either of them, as far as I wanted to. I was able to make small movements, but I think, as you know, Joe, I mean, chasing the market down never works. And where you need to make adjustments, you need to do with a drastic price reduction. You need to come down just below where they were selling in the past. And then you create that interest and hopefully get multiple interest on the properties and then get the price that you're looking to get.
For sure. It's not for everybody in terms of delivering the needed news, but it's a professional's job to do so, and that's why you do it. You pride yourself on it, Mark, and Hershel and I do the same thing. It's really the only way to be, and that's just how I've grown up doing what I'm doing.
You got to grip and do it. I mean, it doesn't serve me or you or any professional any justice to go ahead and not share facts, not explain to our clients exactly how it is. Like I said to my guy, the reason why I'm talking to you about $949 tonight is so I'm not talking to you about $929 in a month. I mean, the bottom line is, man, we need to nip it in the bud now so we're not chasing the market downward. And when you make that decision to finally go in and make that drastic price reduction to just get under where the market is, to get the, and create the activity that you need, you don't want to be, a couple of months down the line in November and December where buyers are already stepping back, waiting for Qualcomm layoffs, thinking that we're going to have more motivated individuals as inventory increases. As you know, it's supply and demand. And those are some of the things that we're going to talk about when we come back. We'll have a little more discussion with Joe Costa from Park Place Financial Group, some of the facts of the real estate market and the mortgage industry.
Intelligent, conservative, AM 1170, The Answer.
Are you a high-producing real estate agent looking to add more value to your clients or looking to expand your business? Mark Schwartz Realty has been a renowned brokerage firm for over 28 years, serving all of San Diego for decades, and his goal is to see your business triple by next year. Who you associate with will determine how far your success can go. Align yourself with the best and call Mark today at 858-414-4602 to discuss a more lucrative opportunity right here at Mark Schwartz Realty, or visit our website at mark4homes.com. Mark Schwartz Realty. Come grow with us.
The Levinson Law Group is dedicated to community safety. We fight back against drunk, texting, and reckless drivers who cause harm on our roadways. We support this community through charitable giving and volunteer work, and we will support you as you heal from your injuries and find closure. What makes the Levinson Law Group different? For years, Gordon Levinson represented the largest insurance companies in North America. How does that benefit you? Because when you hire us, you are giving yourself the clear advantages of experience and insider knowledge. We accept cases on a contingent fee. That means that if there is no recovery in your case, you pay no fee. And in most cases, we even advance the costs. That's the Levinson Law Group. Toll free at 1-866-643-HURT. That's 1-866-643-4878. Call today and put a former insurance company attorney on your side. When it's time to call an attorney, call the Levinson Law Group, because sometimes bad things happen to good people.
Welcome back. This is Mark Schwartz, and you're listening to the Mark Schwartz Real Estate Radio Show. Go to my website. That's Mark, M-A-R-K, the number 4, Homes, HOMES.com. We're joined by Gordon Levinson from Levinson Law Group, and we're going to get to him in a few minutes. I wanted to get back to Joe Costa, start talking about some of these things with interest rates, etc. I mean, they're begging people to buy homes right now. Well, and just like you were saying at the break, it's like, now that the Fed's talking about potentially not raising rates or maybe going up a token quarter, but, keeping it mellow from that point on through September of next year, it's like the writing's on the wall.
Well, it was just like I was mentioning last segment when I was speaking to certain borrowers that were rate sensitive, and the rates were down on Monday and at some point during the day, and then they ticked up and ticked down. Then Tuesday, same thing. It's the same with hearing that the Feds are potentially keeping rates where they are, right? So now you don't sit on the fence. If you are literally looking to buy, or if you've been pre-approved, pre-qualified, get out there and just get this transaction started. So you're kind of grandfathered in, get yourself locked into a good rate, because it's not going to continue with the same type of sentiment that we've seen the last week and a half. There will be a time that the rates will go up, and then you're going to kick yourself, similar to certain clients that I spoke to last week or the beginning of this week, where I said, hey, I can get you this rate right now. And they said, let me think about it. I'll call you back. And they call me back. I'm like, oops, it's not available anymore. You sat too long. But it only took me 10 minutes. I get that.
It's like, what are you waiting for? Okay. I mean, your mortgage professional is advising you that now's the time. Your real estate broker, your entrusted individual that you're working with, the people that you've hired to represent you and yourself, your family, and everything that's going on, have advised you accordingly that the time is to jump in. So if you're making your own decisions and deciding to, step back and wait longer, it's almost like going to the doctor and he's like, take this prescription, go to the pharmacy right now, get this, start it immediately, 3 times a day. don't drink alcohol, don't mix with dairy, but then you decide, you know what, I'm going to have a drink before I take my pill. I just had a bowl of cereal. I'm going to go ahead and take it. I'm going to do it twice a day instead of 3 times. I'm going to wait a week before I get my medicine. Do you think you're going to get the same effect that you would get had you listened to the professional? It's like, at this point, man, rates are so low. Would they go lower? I mean, that's possible that they can. But if they did, I mean, how minute would it be? Now's the time to do it. They are actually screaming at you, buy a home now, man. That's what it is. If you own a home and you want to buy a home, then it's time to sell the house right now. Call me, Mark Schwartz, 858-414-4602, 858-414-4602. We'll get you hooked up with Joe Costa at Park Place Financial Group. Guy's all over it, knows exactly what's happening with the interest rates, watching the Fed, staying on top of the programs you need, educating himself as to the market and the market conditions, man. This is as a pro. Email him, joe@parkplacefg.com. That's Frank Gehry, parkplacefg.com, joe@. So, Joe, I just wanted to get back to, how do you instill in your clientele, in your people, that now's the right time to do it? And how often do they listen to you?
Well, I take, real life examples, such as what occurred this, beginning of this week, end of last week, when the markets were fluctuating from a moment to moment. They have some stability. They had finished up the week with some stability. But I use these examples as, to get them to actually see that it's not just me trying to create a situation to have them lock into a particular rate. It's more about, we want to avoid these situations. So I've had several clients that were locked in. So Monday was business as usual for them in terms of their rates. But, of course, their 401ks, pensions, that stuff was probably affected. But at least the rate part, that stress was reduced out of their equation with the fluctuation of markets. So that's why it's important to make that move sooner than later.
It's difficult to keep your eye on the ball, right? You can't hit a home run if you're not looking at the ball while you're swinging. And if you're concentrating on buying a home and looking at the mortgage rates and trying to, optimize your situation, you got to be willing to strike when the iron's hot, right? You got to be prepared to make that move. You got to be decisive in what you're trying to accomplish. And there are always other things, stock market, your IRA, your 401k. These are long-term investments that shouldn't knock you off of your chair on a day that you're trying to concentrate on doing what you are trying to do. It's very costly not to pay attention and not to be and keep abreast of the market. And that's why working with professionals in every aspect of everything you do is very important, like Joe Costa at Park Place Financial Group and myself, Mark Schwartz. Go to my phone app. That's Mark, M-A-R-K, 4homes.com. And that's why we're bringing back our good friend Gordon Levinson from LevinsonLawGroup.com. Gordon has successfully represented more than 3,000 people and appeared in more than 30 county superior courts, 3 federal district courts, 3 state courts of appeal, and the Supreme State Court. He's won more than $25 million for his clients over the years. And he's an accomplished trial attorney, and he is dedicated to the advancing and in the best interest of his clients. For years, he represented the largest insurance companies in North America, and now he puts all that insider knowledge and experience on your side. Gordon, tell me a little bit about Levinson Law Group.
Oh, sure. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate the opportunity. Well, Levinson Law Group is a personal injury and wrongful death law firm. We represent people who have had major life-altering tragedies. If you've been involved in a high-velocity, high-impact vehicle collision that was not your fault, you may be a client for the Levinson Law Group. Essentially, our firm is dedicated to this community. Our stand is against texting reckless drunk drivers who are out there causing harm, and I'm passionate about that cause. I got teenage drivers in my household, and the thought of them being out there with all these careless drivers around them in their midst makes my skin crawl. And frankly, that's what my firm is dedicated to doing, is to fighting against the bad outcomes that happen when people mix alcohol, mix cell phone, and driving. We're also dedicated to this community by our charity, our volunteer work, and principally we're dedicated to making our clients' lives better by supporting them as they navigate these troubled waters through the aftermath of one of these horrible car accidents, and we support them through their tragedies until they reach full recovery and peace, ultimately.
Now, Gordon, tell me about some of the different cases that you guys deal with.
Sure, Herschel. We work on high velocity, high impact vehicle collisions. We're not one of these law firms that kind of are probably doing more harm out there than good by helping people make their slip and fall claim that if they slipped in the grocery store and it's frivolous. Or
Gotcha.
we don't deal in that world. Our clients have been majorly injured. They might have broken femur, broken pelvis. They've been in a major high speed impact collision. And so if you're out there listening right now, ask yourself, have you been injured by a reckless driver? Are your injuries life-changing? Are your injuries hindering your ability to work? Do you suffer from broken bones, disrupted tissue, and nerve-based pain, sleeplessness, post-concussion syndrome? Is your car incurring unnecessary storage fees at a tow yard? Are you losing sleep, wondering who's going to pay for all this? You might need the support of a law firm. If you can answer yes to those questions, give us a call. You might have a case.
Yeah, if that sounds like anything you've been involved in or a story that you can associate with, you got to go ahead and get a hold of Gordon Levinson. That's levinsonlawgroup.com. levinsonlawgroup.com. Gordon, you're the author of the research paper titled The 3 Things Insurance Companies Don't Want You to Know About Your Claim. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Mark, I used to represent insurance companies, and now I represent people against insurance companies. So I'm the equalizer. I will help my clients level the playing field. And I've done a great deal of research into how insurance claims go, how insurers think, and the paper you just mentioned, it's available on my website, levinsonlawgroup.com. You can download the white paper right to your email. And the 3 things that insurance companies don't want you to know about your claim are, number 1, if you make an insurance claim, even if you're in the right, you are being judged. They're judging you. They've got a built-in mechanism to detect fraud. And it's natural because if you own an insurance company, wouldn't you have systems that ferreted out fraud? Of course you would. But if you've got a righteous claim and you're trying to push it through and get it treated fairly, you have to understand that there's a presumption that your claim might be fraudulent. So don't do anything suspicious or funky. Just be natural. Act like yourself in a situation where you're really injured. And insurance companies are looking for several aspects of a claim that may be a red flag. If it's a car accident, does the car have minor property damage? Is this just a little tap and the person's overreacting? So if your car has minor property damage, it's probably not a very strong injury case. Have you delayed getting treatment? One of the things that drives insurers crazy is, here's a person who claims to be hurt, but meanwhile, after the crash, they waited a month and then finally went to the hospital. Well, that looks suspicious. That's a red flag for a claim. The credibility of you as you're making your claim, they're looking to see, well, is this guy a dirtbag? Is this guy covered with tattoos and does his Facebook profile show him partying with a bunch of friends in a bar?
Drinking beers at a bar, getting hammered, jumping off cliffs.
I got no problem with an occasional drink. I got no bias against somebody who has ink. What I'm saying is insurance companies looking at that, they do have a bias against that. So if that's you really ought to take some steps to kind of clean up your. Have no skeletons in your closet.
Absolutely, they always are attacking you from the beginning. We got a couple more of things that the insurance company doesn't want you to know about that I want to go over with you, and a lot more questions I want to hear from you on the next segment when we come back. And then we're going to end up finishing up with Joe Costa from Park Place Financial Group.
AM 1170, The Answer. Everywhere you go on iHeartRadio.
Are you looking to lower your current interest rate or obtain a loan for a home purchase? If you are, Park Place Financial Group would like to help. At Park Place Financial Group, building a value-based relationship is our number one priority, and our passion is all about helping our customers find the best possible loan program based on their current and future needs. In doing so, we utilize our years of experience and expertise to help you succeed and build your real estate wealth. Give us a call today at 646-245-7856. Licensed by the California Bureau of Real Estate under license BRE number 01841088. Hershel Strother II is a seasoned success coach, author of Show Me the Money Today, a luxury real estate advisor, and the CEO of Ultimate Achiever, your number one choice for all your lifestyle management needs. Call 877-979-3226 or 877-YS-WE-CAN for a free consultation and visit our website at ultimateachiever.com. That's ultimateachiever.com.
The Levinson Law Group is dedicated to community safety. We fight back against drunk, texting, and reckless drivers who cause harm on our roadways. We support this community through charitable giving and volunteer work, and we will support you as you heal from your injuries and find closure. What makes the Levinson Law Group different? For years, Gordon Levinson represented the largest insurance companies in North America. How does that benefit you? Because when you hire us, you are giving yourself the clear advantages of experience and insider knowledge. We accept cases on a contingent fee. That means that if there is no recovery in your case, you pay no fee. And in most cases, we even advance the costs. That's the Levinson Law Group. Toll free at 1-866-643-HURT. That's 1-866-643-4878. Call today and put a former insurance company attorney on your side. When it's time to call an attorney, call the Levinson Law Group, because sometimes bad things happen to good people.
Welcome back. It's Mark Schwartz, and you're listening to the Mark Schwartz Real Estate Radio Show. We got Joe Costa from Park Place Financial Group with us, Hershel Strother II from Mark Schwartz Realty, and we're joined by our friend Gordon Levinson from LevinsonLawGroup.com, who, as usual, bringing us all sorts of really good information and what they can do to help you if you've ever been involved in a collision with an impaired driver, a negligent driver, texting while driving, drinking, using the phone. Any of those things apply. And we were just talking about the research paper that you had put together titled "The 3 Things Insurance Companies Don't Want You to Know About Your Claim." And I think the first thing was, they're always coming out and attacking. They're assuming that there's a fraudulent claim.
Right.
And it's all about, building and creating strength and keeping it together, because even though it is a legitimate situation, you might have holes in there, and your actions can actually affect that. And what were some of the other things? I think there were 3 items there. There were 2 left. And what were the other 2?
People have to understand an insurer's first offer is never its best offer. There's a rule in insurance companies. They call it first call settlements. They're looking for suckers. If you've been in a car accident, your phone will be ringing very soon with the insurance company offering you $500. So here's some chump change to sign the release and go away. And, like Elvis Presley saying, only fools rush in. So don't snap up the chump change and sign away your rights. You may have latent injuries that haven't even manifested. I mean, why would you sign a release? In most cases, you have 2 years under the California statute of limitations to bring your claim. It's only 6 months if it's a government entity.
So that's 2 years to bring your claim, but you want to make sure that you're treated immediately, go to a doctor, and handle things efficiently and effectively. But we're just talking about the claim process.
Right, but so don't take the first offer. When that phone call happens, you're vulnerable, you're intimidated, and here's some insurance adjuster offering you a quick $500 or $1,000. But don't be ill-advised and rush in and take
Only
take your
fools
time.
rush in.
Exactly. The third thing that most people don't know about these insurance claims is that a computer program is probably going to be analyzing your claim. Not an actual human insurance adjuster, but rather a computer software program. And how disheartening is that? I mean, in the old days, 20 years ago, over at State Farm, Allstate, Geico, they had experienced, conscientious people reviewing these claims. And nowadays they got some 25-year-old kid typing data into a computer and now outspits the information of what the claim.
Wow, amazing how that works.
Now at our firm, we've learned that program and how to actually turn the tables back on the insurer, because we know what it's looking for, and if we can provide the information to the computer in a way that optimizes the outcome, well then our clients are better suited as a result. And so we've worked with that program for 10 years and researched it and have fully come to understand its parameters. And now again, you can't trick the machine. It's not like we're making stuff up. And
it's all about how you feed the information into the machine,
presentation,
how you're eloquently explaining, or the presentation involved. And which is definitely one of the things that makes you guys different than other personal injury law firms. But what else makes Levinson Law Group different?
Mainly, it's the people at the firm. We're conscientious and compassionate. So if you've been injured and your life is kind of in turmoil, you need a supportive team of compassionate people like supporting you and helping you. So that's us. It's my life's mission to kind of change that perception or bias of the uncaring ambulance chaser. That's a terrible negative stereotype. And if I do one thing, I want to control my actions in such a way as to alter the perception in the public's mind that personal injury lawyers actually are problem solvers, and we're compassionate watchdogs who are here to do good in society. We are the penalty if you decide to step out of line and drink and drive and cause mayhem. Well, there ought to be consequences. There ought to be civil consequences as well as criminal consequences. That is the true role of the plaintiff's lawyer in society. It's to enforce the laws and make people behave in a safe and rational manner.
Absolutely. And in any business, real estate, mortgage, lawyers, any of us are out there working it, got to understand, working with integrity and being out there looking for the best interests of our clients. And that's why we surround ourselves with individuals that are, efficient, high energy, educated, stay on top of all the new things that are taking place, so that we know what it takes to get the job done and in their best interest. And so why the emphasis on distracted driving, Gordon?
Because it's an epidemic and it causes more mayhem than most people understand on the roadway. In fact, probably the majority of car accidents that occur out there involve a distracted or texting driver. Although that person who caused that accident while texting would never admit it, so the statistics don't accurately even count it. But from the stats that we know, and the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration in Washington has compiled an exhaustive survey on this, we know that in 2012, 421,000 people were injured by distracted drivers. Wow. And the highest incidence of distracted driving and fatalities in distracted driving occurs among 15 to 19-year-olds.
Unbelievable. And I have two kids that are creeping up on that age bracket, and that's why, although they want a Mini Cooper, they're going to get my Escalade. And even though it's 2007, I'm going to hold on to that for the next couple of years.
Watch out, Carmel Valley.
Yeah, that's it. And Joe, just getting back to the mortgage end of things, it's like, we were looking at the statistics right now. There's 7,200 homes that are on the market in San Diego County, and we're looking at sales over the last 30 days of about 3,100 sales, and that represents still about 2.5 months of inventory, which is historically a very good number. It constitutes a great market and good market conditions. It just seems like the buyers are kind of stepping back, but I think the buyer pool has picked up. The interest rates might be driving that.
Interest rates, but now you have to deal with what happened this past week, and that's the market, the uncertainty of the market. So on the one hand, you're hearing about the feds in all likelihood won't be raising the rates, but now people's 401ks are down.
The sky's falling.
So now they're really, really concerned. So they're not, it takes professionals like ourselves to go out there and really emphasize that we get that. It's stressful and it's definitely discouraging to see it, but you still need to act now if you're looking to do something because the rates are still low.
Can't be afraid to tell people the way it is. And that's why it's very important to work with a professional who understands communication and how important it is to get the message across. And just getting back to Gordon, Gordon, why in your own mind is distracted driving getting worse in this country?
Because people are ignorant. They don't understand how dangerous it is. The average text takes 5 seconds to send, And if you're in a car traveling at 55 miles an hour, in 5 seconds, you're going to cover the length of a football field. Would you ever dream of driving a car for 100 yards, looking into a cell phone? That's insane. It's reckless. So people don't understand just how dangerous it is, and some people think that they drive better while talking on a phone or texting.
Amazing.
And in fact, survey results show that 50% of drivers admit that they answer incoming calls while driving, and 25% of drivers said that they're willing to place a call while driving. And you know as well as I do that it's higher than that.
Absolutely. I mean, I must say, in my business, it's almost like I feel compelled to pick up the telephone every time somebody's calling or texting. And I'm sure, Joe, you feel the same way. I mean, it's not an emergency. We don't need to pick up that phone. We never had phones while texting and driving.
Pull over. Don't answer the phone while driving. Pull over for a second.
Absolutely. Put that phone in the trunk of your car, man. Make this country safer to be around for yourself and your kids. It's an epidemic. That's Gordon Levinson at levinsonlawgroup.com. levinsonlawgroup.com. He's got a 98% close ratio. They're hand selecting. He's evaluating the situation. They're not ambulance chasing, man. But if you got a legitimate claim, if you've been injured, a bone broken, an unfortunate loss of a family member, this is the guy you want in your corner. It's levinsonlawgroup.com. I'd like to thank Joe Costa from Park Place Financial Group. You could always email Joe at parkplacefg.frankgary.com. That's Joe at parkplacefg.com. Get all the information you need to get pre-approved. Thanks, Joe. And Hershel Strother, our luxury real estate specialist and CEO trainer.
Good to see you.
As always. Talk to you next Friday.